guys, Xbox Gamer, and as you can tell, 1, I'm on the test server, and 2, I am going to be making probably a few more videos now, just because a big video got out of the way. Hopefully if you haven't yet seen it, would recommend you go and watch it. So basically what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be discussing reprocessing. So first of all, I have moved some basic ore, which all this you can find in high sec. 2 of them are particular rare ores that are on the border of a low sec system, so 0.5 high sec system as long as it borders a low sec system. They are easy to find. I will do a video on them later, but right now we're going to be doing reprocessing. So all the videos you've seen so far of gaining materials, so that's mining, salvaging, ice mining, moon mining, basically all the good stuff. So all these bits that you've collected, so all this, PI as well, so all these bits that you've collected, all these bits and pieces, and you really don't know what to do with it. So what I'm going to show you here is, so we have entered Astro House, Ataru, no. Let's go and have a look, see. Never been very good with names. So what you want to do is, as you see, want to come here, you want to go to utilities and then structure browser. So back again, utilities, structure browser. Now sorry about that. Once you've got this, so as you can see, the Athanor and Teru, whatever you want to call it, these are your reprocessing stations. So what you want to do is you want to click here, scroll all the way down, click on those, mark them, then services, and you want reprocessing plant. Now from here you can have a look. So here where I am right now is a 0.10% reprocessing cost, 20, 3.5, 30 or 0.3, 0. So this one would be literally isn't charging you anything, it's 100% free. So this is basically what you want to do. You want to try to find the cheapest. I've just come to the closest one, so I'm in the hauler. Don't want to go too far, otherwise I spend ages trying to get there. Right click, and then you want to reprocess. As you can see right here, I get 66.2% reprocessing. As you can see from the right hand side is the estimate value, and on the left hand side is what I'm going to be getting out of it. So if I click here, boom, done. Now we can take all this ore, chuck it back in our ship. Now you may be asking yourself, what we're going to do is material. Well, that's going to be on a completely different, separate video. So basically, you will do this with the Rotaru with high sec, low sec, null sec ore. Also, any moons. Moons are a little bit different. I'm going to take this back to. I'm going to drop all this off at Amar, and I'm going to come back with some more material, and then I'm going to show you guys what we're going to do with all this material. So we'll see you guys in a little while. Next time you see me, I will be back. And we're back after we've done a little bit of a pickup. So what you can see here is the top amount. As you can see, I've chucked in some different materials and ores which I had left lying around. Picked up some other bits as well. So basically, as you can see, we have the normal ores from high sec, and then we also have these as well. These are basically for the reaction, so we're just going to reprocess all that. Let's chuck these into, don't actually have enough room. That's fine, I'll just chuck all these bits out anyway. Next we're going to reprocess is ice. So we'll reprocess this, then I'll just go through it all bit by bit. So let's check this also outside as well. So what we've done is we have reprocessed everything we possibly can. So let's go for the first bit. So titanium, noxorite, priorite, oxygen, zadrine, and there's another one I think I'm missing in moxorite. These are all the generally high sec, low sec, null sec ores, which you're going to get. Put these here. Then once you do start getting mining, you get these materials. So if I open this up, go industry quickly, as you can see these are all reactions. It really depends if you want to get into reactions, and also it takes in ice blocks as well. Maybe asking what reactions does for. Basically you take these particular materials once it's opened, so you take these two with fuel blocks, and then you can start making these elements. Once you can do this, you can start reacting, and you can start making these, and these will go into the cores. Yeah, so basically reactions are a completely different method needs to be done for those. So we'll put these down here because we already spoke about them. Now we just got these 4 items which basically come from the ice. So heavy water, an isotope, liquid ozone, and deuterium, however it's pronounced. Probably butchered the name completely. So these materials are actually used for, see if I can go down a bit more, so I can check these here. These are basically used to make fuel blocks. Now with fuel blocks there are also a few other bits and pieces. So let's go to this one. So the fuel block, let's bring that up. I will be going into a much more deeper depth into manufacturing, but this video was just basically on what to do with all these materials. So as you can see, to make a fuel block you need some PI, so robotics, uranium machine parts, coolant, and oxygen. Once you've got all these, you can make yourself some fuel blocks. Fuel blocks are generally used for reactions, also keeping structures running in the space. So the structure I'm using right now, obviously they'll be using fuel blocks to keep it all running. Which is pretty decent. Let's have a look, see, it's going through my bits. And gas, yeah, so basically gas here in the industry, you actually use the gas to actually make, I want to bring something in the industry, these components, these are actually used for, give me a second, let's go up the food chain a little bit. Yeah, these take a while. Okay, let's go into different parts, and I'm not entirely sure what these will actually go into. So out come those. So we've got those, and then come into this. Yeah, sorry about this, and this. But basically, the gas from wormhole space basically goes into making T3s and the components for T3s. I don't really do reactions So I really do not know. It's kind of something that I've never really got into. But as you make your way up through the chains, yeah, so they're basically just going to reaction. It's all reactions, and to be honest, I don't really do reactions. It's not really something I've really been into. Or industry recycle. Recycle parts. What you do is you take them to an NPC station that you've been doing missions for. If you get up to 7, then obviously you get free tax. You don't pay anything to reprocess it. A skill recommended for those type of reprocessing is recycling. Basically means any module parts you get that you're not going to sell, you can put into material. I would only recommend doing that if you are basically a builder, or you know what you're doing. It's fine to recycle, little bits and pieces. So over here, as you can see, got a station container of all bits and pieces where I run my missions. Now I can recycle those into basic materials, which I have, which is why I have this blueprint copy, because I can get all these materials from recycling. Then what I'll do is I'll make one of those, and then I'll use these chips with the LP store. So use this with the LP store, and I can turn the tormentor into a slicer. Now a tormentor goes for 500. Goes for 55,200 ISK. Why, if I go to ship tree, go to Amar, so we have Tormentor there. We change that and we can get to go up, and we go all the way to Slicer. Unfortunately, view market details. And all Slicer goes for about 11 million, so it's quite a big increase. Not entirely sure what the points are for that, but I don't think it's too much. So yeah, you can make a bit of money from doing it that way. Oh yeah, and I think I'm forgetting one more. Salvage. So we salvage your components. You can see here which you get from salvaging different bits. These are generally used for rigs. I am just stockpiling them up. Not entirely sure if I'll ever go into making rigs. Maybe at some point I will do a video on making rigs and everything else. But at the moment this was just reprocessing and what to do basic materials. Oh yes, also I don't want to forget the PI stuff. PI is a little bit different. Give me a second. So let's come over here. Industry. This is your PI stuff. To make robotics is a little bit different, because this is a T3. To make a T3 you need to make some T2s. T2s, T1, and then basically the raw material. So heavy metal you'd basically get from planet, you turn it into T1s, which is toxic metal, and then you take 2 T1s, so coolant, so toxic metal, and the other one you'll put that into a factory on the planet and it will produce T2s. Then you go from T2s, then you come over to robotics, then that's basically two T2s will go into one T3. Then T3, as you can see, there are 3 materials this time now to go into T4. The higher you go up the chain, obviously, the more money you can make. Also depends on the market values as well. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video, guys. Sorry for the mumbling. But that's just basically it. There's not really much into it. This video is just to show you where to take your bits and pieces. So before I do completely end it, reactions can only be done in engineering complexes that are in low sec that also have a reaction module. As I said, I don't generally do reactions because it is quite dangerous. You know, first you have to get all your bits into low sec, and then obviously once you're done, get it all back into high sec to do with whatever you'd like. So I don't generally do reactions. It's not just low sec, it's also null sec and also wormholes as far as I'm aware. But yeah, the further down you go down, it's going to get more dangerous, and it's not really, I wouldn't really recommend it for a newer player. So what I would recommend for you new guys, if you're watching this, is to basically get used to these materials, which I'm highlighting, because these will be the most common. And these as well, these are probably worth something. Let's just move these here. So yeah, a reasonable amount of money. So apparently it's worth 1.6 billion, which I have been stocking up for a while now. Basically, if I've not got anything to do, you know, like no event in the game, or just, you know, don't know what to do, if I don't fancy doing missions, I'll go off and basically do some mining. So as I said, these are from the moon. These are your basic ores. With high sec moon mining, you also get basic ores or basic material with the reaction components or the reaction elements. And then there you go, you have your ice. Ice is basically, if you're not going to be making fuel blocks, probably best selling on the market. Also, one thing I did forget, in these structures, if you right click, I'll just quickly show you. So over here, right click. Okay, can I not do that then? Reprocess. When you got, well, if you can right click it, you can actually turn it into compressed materials. Don't know why it's not doing it at the moment. Oh, there it is. Compress. Yes, I'd like to compress that. And you turn it into a compressed, as you can tell, as I click on here, it says it's got a value of 880 M3. Click on this, click compress, compressed at 25 bits, and now I have a compression of 8.8 M3. But you can compress gas, however, by compressing gas, you can't do anything with it because there's no, you know, you can't reprocess gas. Gas is basically itself. So when you do compressions with gas, you're basically going to be losing some material. So just be careful with that. That is actually going to be it. There is nothing else I can tell you to do with all your material. But in the next video, or the next quite a few videos, we're going to be taking these materials, and then we're going to be changing these materials into goodies that we can put on the market. Now I am going to be doing a series on how to make every ship in the game. I'll probably be doing all these on the test server itself rather than on the main game, just so you guys can get an idea of what it takes to actually do it, because I don't actually use my main materials because I'm just basically just stockpiling everything at the moment until I get to a certain point where I feel as if I can sell it or do what I ever need to do with it, make some serious money, and then buy some new ships. Well, so thank you guys for watching this video, and we'll see